What's up, YouTube? It's your main man, AB the Hero, and we back. We gotta finish the saga, the drama between Stephen A. Smith and your boy Lonzo Ball. Now, I will say this to you. Anytime you in a altercation, in a fight, in a skirmish, in a back and forth, and you are the only one shooting shot after shot after shot after shot, you probably on the losing side of said argument. All right. I seen Drake go back to back, so that's an exception. But when you gotta keep coming and coming and coming and coming and coming, and once somebody just hits you one time, you know there's an issue. So we talked about this last night. Stephen A. responded with a kind of a cryptic message to Lonzo Ball, basically saying, hey, anytime you want, if you calling out my sources, anytime you want, you can come on the Stephen A. Smith show. And most folks read through that as a great opportunity to pub said Stephen A. Smith show, right? And if you follow Stephen A.'s Twitter all day, it's been a using the Lonzo situation to pub Stephen A. Smith show / First Take. Not that he needed 12 years in a row. First Take has continued to grow and improve in ratings. We get it. Stephen A. Smith show just getting started, still doing really good. So I'm not saying it's desperation. I'm saying it's tactical. But we got what we were looking for. Stephen A. Smith addressed this situation on the Stephen A. Smith show and on First Take. And in this clip, we'll watch a bit of both, right? We're going to start with the Stephen A. Smith show, and he's going to intersplice his First Take clip in there. We're going to watch that and react to all of it as it comes up. Now, if you're like me, you already believe you know what's going to happen here. If you're like me, you think Stephen A, you caught red-handed. We know what you're gonna say. You apologize. The sources wasn't sourcing. You'll say, you'll get on the screen and say, hey man, I heard this, but obviously my sources was tripping. And the way that you checked me, I went and checked my sources because they got me looking crazy. That's what I think Stephen A. Smith should say. I'm sure you think the same thing too if you got some sense. Now, let me know where you put your money at. Do you think Stephen A. Smith did what most of us would have did, or you think he doubled down and tripled down? Let's get into it.
De'Aaron Fox is a star. Okay? Well, yesterday on First Take, I spoke on that. Yesterday, before Lonzo Ball responded, I spoke on the state of affairs involving Lonzo Ball once news came down that he was probably going to miss half of the upcoming NBA season. Listen to
now. I'm not going to pause it too much here, but I want to do this before he's about to play what he said yesterday, and we're going to skip that anyway. But he said before the news came down, right? So he spoke on that because he's saying that the news recently came down that Lonzo Ball was going to miss the season, and which is what preempted the conversation he had yesterday, right? And so to me, and probably you, if you tapped in like we tapped in, I was like, why are you having this conversation? We knew this months ago, right? And if you go back here after the draft back in June, what happened is the Bulls already let us know. The executive said he out, third knee surgery. We don't expect him, right? But what ended up happening and made yesterday significant was this. Lonzo Ball, if you see here, all of these headlines from 2 days ago, Lonzo Ball out for the season, Lonzo Ball out for the season, Lonzo Ball out for the season, all of these different things you see here, right? Now, the difference is what happened is your boy Lonzo was on Trae Young's podcast, and he confirmed himself that he was out. And then so people who were not in the know got excited and said, oh my God, Lonzo gonna be out for the season. We just heard it for the first time. So most of us, we already knew that, all right? So that's an important piece that we need to touch on for a second. Now, that preempted Stephen A's conversation that he had on First Take. And for most of us, we were looking at that like, bruh, why you even talking about this the way you talking about it? And so we'll go back and finish this conversation with Stephen A.
What I said, here it is. I don't think he'll ever be the same.
We skip this.
Obviously, Lonzo Ball took offense to that.
Yeah.
Lonzo Ball's 26 years of age. He's been in the league for about 4 years. It's one of those situations where he got a bit defensive, and he wanted to make sure that he clapped back at me. And, you know, he does what some of these guys will try and do in this day and age before I felt the need to address him. But before I get into specifics, let's look at what Lonzo Ball had to say to clap back at yours truly.
Stephen A, who are your sources, bro? Please tell me who your sources are. Come on, man.
All right. So here's one of the biggest issues I have with cats like Stephen A. Smith as well. When they get into this idea, right? Oh, he decided to clap back at what I said. Is folks get on TV every day and just talk about people. My sources said this. Mom, I think this. Here's my opinion. And when you don't agree or you challenge said opinion or come with alternative sources, now all of a sudden you clapping back. You can get on the TV on First Take and then have all of these wild opinions. I heard he can't even stand up. It's so sad what's happening to them boys. But a man say, yo, my knee is fine. It's a clapback. Oh, he didn't like what I said. He got in his feelings a bit, and he decided to respond it like these athletes do today. But meanwhile, folks can get on the internet like myself and talk trash all day. Somebody say one thing about you, and now your panties in a bunch. You done talked about 1,000 people. Somebody say one thing you don't like, and now your panties in a bunch. Who your sources, Stephen A?
For the record, to everybody, I don't blame him for doing that. I really, really don't. I like Lonzo Ball too. Oh, by the way, and his daddy.
Okay. Shout
Only
out
met
to
his brother
LeVar.
LaMelo once, who I believe is
Shout
gonna
out
be a
to Melo.
superstar in this league for years to come. But I like LeVar Ball too. LeVar has clapped on me. One time he called me as fake as a $3 bill and all of this other stuff. Please, didn't stop him from coming on First Take. Didn't stop him from giving me a pound and a hug. Didn't stop him from being a guest. Didn't stop him from rapping me. All of that is just talk, y'all. It's all good. It's all love. Lonzo Ball is good people. He really is. And he's a damn good basketball player. And I think the Bulls would be better if he were healthy and in the lineup. Okay?
Talk that
I want
talk.
to be clear about that. And
Talk
I want to be
that
clear about
talk.
the fact that he had every right to come at me the way that he did.
Okay, I
It's
like
just
that.
You got to be careful sometimes, bro. And this is me in response, showing him why he needs to be careful. Listen
Okay,
up.
why? Explain it to us.
You ain't healthy. You've missed about 48% of your games, and you're only 4 years into your career. And on top of it all, you would think that since you missed all of last season and 47 games the season before that, and you're scheduled to miss games at least until the new year, this upcoming season, that you wouldn't make a video proclaiming that you're healthy. Because instead of looking at me, and I'm not talking to Lonzo, I'm talking to the idiot trolls out there. Instead of looking at me, what if I was a Bulls fan and I said, and I looked at him and poolside, oh, so you can play? Can you play?
Yeah.
Can you play? Since you're doing that.
Since you're
because the
healthy.
answer would be no. Sit your ass down.
Here. Stephen A. Steven. My boy, he just was standing up and down. It ain't like he was dunking the basketball. Now, I remember last year, I think it was last year, we saw the clip. Zion was sitting out a ton of games, and then he decided to release a pregame warm-up where he 360 in between the legs, all this crazy stuff. And folks like, Zion, if you can do all that, why you not playing? This is a different situation. My man is showing you that because what you're failing to talk about in this scenario is that Not only did you say, yo, he's gonna miss the next season, and it's sad because the Bulls are gonna be good, but you took it up a notch. You decided to bloviate. You decided to elevate and excruciate the situation in the fans of the Bulls' minds. And you said he could barely get up and out of a chair. Not up out of the bed, because the bed might be low if it's a platform, and that's going to be hard for a lot of people. But the chair, he can't even get off 90 degrees. That's what you said. And so his response was to show you, I can at least get up out of a chair, my guy. He didn't say, I'm healthy, I'm coming back. So if you're a Bulls fan and you watched that Lonzo video and you said, oh, he can stand up, he got to be able to play basketball. If that's all you need to be able to play basketball, 99% of the injury report wouldn't exist. Because if my wrist is hurt, I can still stand up. If my ankle banged up, I can still probably get up.
I didn't mean that in some volatile way. Again, I like it. It ain't fighting words or nothing like that. I'm just saying, sit your ass down. Come on, bro.
He can sit down, but he also can stand up. I didn't mean it in no volatile way. Stephen A is giving you a classic example of what they call moving the goalpost, right? So that's when you're trying to hit it and they move that mug to the side and then you miss it. Then they move that thing to the side and you miss it. And they step it back. The goal line, you think you got 10 yards, you really got 20 yards. And they just keep moving the goalposts. That's what Stephen A is doing to you right now. Just like we talked about from the beginning, 99% of people would have said, you know what, bro? You got me on this one. You got me on this one. I might have been wrong. I thought you couldn't even stand up. That's crazy. I'm happy for you. I was really sad yesterday because I was thinking about how bleak the future of the Bulls situation was. But then I seen you stand up and I got excited. And he could have clapped this thing off, took a bow, and then continue with the Stephen A. Smith show. But my man doubling down.
You don't exactly have a strong case to argue with me on this. Do you want me to give the names of your doctors and the surgeries that you have had? I'm not going to do that.
Come on, my guy.
But I will throw out some other numbers that people need to know. Like, for one, the last game.
You could say who your sources is. That's the question you got there. That's the question. If you're going to answer anything, the one thing he gave you permission to say is who the sources is.
Lonzo Ball played was against the Golden State Warriors, January of 2022. That was when Lonzo Ball severely injured his knee, leading to several surgeries. In your career, you've missed around 46 to 48% of your games. The exact number, I'm not sure, but I am absolutely positive it's around 220 games. I have more.
That's a lot.
Lonzo Ball turns 26 in October. I'm just looking at my social media guy. I'm looking at my sister's smart. I'm sorry. I don't want to get on them too much, but I just think it's important to throw this out there, okay?
This is what I was saying to you earlier. You said one thing. He said something else. And now you like, oh, I think it's important for me to drag you through the mud right now. Right? So when I got on TV and said that you could barely stand up, that wasn't enough. I wasn't doing that to be to be demonstrative. I wasn't doing that to be harmful to you. I was just stating some facts, but now you cannot tell me your intentions aren't of pure spite. You can't tell me your intentions aren't of degradation. You can't tell me your intentions are unpure right now. Because they are unpure right now. So all of that stuff you was talking before, we got to throw it out the window. Because it seems like You on some BS now. Continue.
Lonzo Ball turns 26 in October. Had a cartilage transplant in his left knee in March. The procedure on his knee was the third he's had since he signed a 4-year. It's more than a year and a half since he played in only 35 games before the injury. Games missed due to the injury the last 2 seasons. He missed all 42 due to injury.
Here's my thing. Tell us, at least cite where you getting these sources from. Now, the numbers might be right, but at least say, here go my sources from NBA.com. Here go my sources. Well, what's the point of all of this? You regurgitating information that we already know, and what we came here for, Stephen A., is to hear you just simply say, my bad, I made a mistake, I jacked it up, I spoke out of turn, I'm on my source's head, I'm Stephen A. Smith, I'm human, I make mistakes. All you doing here is pointing out the shortcomings of another man as you deflect your own shortcomings. We got shortcomings. Your boy AB the Hero be coming up short. Pause. Sometimes. Y'all look at the things that boy ain't even posted in a minute now. I got some shortcomings. Don't deflect them.
Okay? And in his career, 25 games in his shoulder in 2017-20. In 2020, he missed 6 to the. He missed 17. He missed last season 111. Why are you making a video with your knees? Now, if I couldn't go off camera, if I didn't want to go off camera because of the lighting in my studio here, do y'all know I can get up and sit down and get up and sit down and get up and sit down all night long? Does that mean that I can run the hell up and down the damn court 94 feet for 30, 35 minutes a night? Sitting poolside on a bench, getting up on one knee, you think that shows that you're healthy?
No.
You gonna call me yapping when I have all of this information in front of me? Would you like me to tell where you had surgery and exactly what date you had surgery on? Would you like me to get the names of the doctors? I do have them. I know the actual doctors that operated on you.
Why is this important, Stephen A?
Of course I wouldn't do something like that to you, bro. I would never do something like that. That's none of my business.
Why would you even say that?
That's none of anybody's business. I'm just making the point.
Stephen A. Smith, the type of dude who you go on a 2-man with, and the girls feeling you a little too much. The girls, they showing you too much interest and support. You told them you did something cool and they came out and they was double tapping in the real IRL. And then Stephen A. be like, didn't I loan you some money the other day? Hey, bro, where them socks at and them shoes? Hey, when you go outside, don't step on the dirt because you know you got my shoes on. I don't want to get just trying to throw you underneath the bus to make himself look better. Bruh, we can both win. Maybe this 2-man is me. Maybe the next one I got to take the seat. Don't ruin the experience for me. Let my dog Lonzo get some shine. Bro, a man ain't played the game in some time. We done seen the first glimpse of hope from him. And now here you go. In order to make yourself look better, you calling out all of the negativities that ever happened in the whole man career. Come on, man. It's your main man, AB the Hero. We finna get up out of here. I love y'all. We out. Oh, before we go, if you still tapped in, make sure you go to any place that you watch and entertain podcasts and follow the future of sports with your main man, AB the Hero. You can go get this podcast on Spotify and you can get it on Apple Podcasts. The first episode with my man Talking with Fresh will be dropping also on YouTube here in the next couple of days. So go tap in there. But make sure you subscribe here on any place that you get them. Follow all of that. Just add them to your playlist and all of that stuff. It's your main man, AB the Hero. We getting up out of here. Peace.
Be the hero. No, not peace. +1, triple B's. We out.